So, could you check what number I am on the waiting list? Okay. Oh, okay. Number one. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's the same number I was when I ordered the Fuji X100V in March of 2020. Yeah, well, yeah. I've had it since then, and well, everything shut down for the pandemic, and I went just out and took pictures when you couldn't do anything else. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Well, okay. Well, hopefully I hear from you beginning of August. That'd be great. And I do have some trade-ins. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me yet again. I think this is video number 72 in 3 days or something. It feels like that. I feel like I'm doing nothing but filming, but it's great. I love it. I love filming. I love having reasons to talk to you about something. My hair is flying all over the place right now. Sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that I watched pretty much every single video about the Alpha 6700 that came out yesterday in 3 different languages, because maybe you don't know that, but I am German, so I do speak German, and I lived in Italy for 12 years, so I also speak Italian fluently. So I watched every every review video on YouTube about the 6700 in 3 languages, and I found that it is not the perfect camera, but it possibly may be the perfect camera for me. Let me run down what I found out about this camera from various people. And obviously, I don't have the camera yet. I am not a big YouTuber. I don't get sent any kind of review models for me to look at. So I just have to go with where everybody else goes for the information, which is the Sony website, YouTubers, channels that get these review models sent to them. If you were a YouTuber and you get a camera sent to you before it gets launched for you to review and test, you want to stay in good standings with the company, and you don't want to be too critical about this product because you don't want to be booted off that list. I don't really know how this works. I'm imagining that most reviewers are pretty honest. There may be some that are just, yeah, Sony, whatever Sony does is great. I'm not even gonna question it. So, and that's why it's great to have some other avenues for research, which in this case would be Germans, because they're like, if it's no good, I'm going to tell you it's no good. I've been a Fuji shooter since 2011 when the first X100 came out. I remember I went down to Vancouver and bought it. I think I bought it from Best Buy. It was Future Shop back then. We didn't have Best Buys yet. Best Buy bought Future Shop, the Canadian brand. And no, it was Future Shop, downtown Vancouver. I bought that camera. It was expensive. It was, I think, $1,000. Ooh. And I was so impressed with Fuji colors and the handling. After a few months, I felt really constrained by the fact that I couldn't change any lenses because I've been used to taking macro shots with my Nikon, the 60mm macro lens. I'm still missing that lens to this day. It's the most beautiful macro lens I've ever had. Nothing came even close to that one. So then I switched to the Fuji XE1, which was a similar body to the X100, but it had interchangeable lenses. And I started to collecting lenses from there. Then I bought an XT1, then an XT2, 14mm, 35mm, 27mm, 60mm macro. And while Fuji makes great cameras and great lenses, my needs that I have for a camera changed. Photography has been an itch for me for a long time, but videography has now really taken off for me as well. I tried various small sensor cameras, the Osmo Pocket 1, the GoPro, I don't know, the one that was a cube, Insta360 Go 2, I still have that one. It's terrible, terrible camera. iPhone, iPhone. I filmed a lot with the iPhone, and the iPhone is great, especially those new models. The cameras are great. But again, you're looking at that background separation, the fake one, that the computerized background separation. It's not the same. What I really would like would be a full frame camera. And full frame cameras have come down in price so much, and they're great. They only have one problem. They're big. The initial reason for me to switch to Fuji was because they made small, capable cameras with small, capable lenses. I sold all my Nikon gear, big camera, big lenses, and got small camera, small lenses. And for a while, I was super happy. What I noticed, Fuji has become a lot more popular now. A lot of people love their cameras, X-T5, XS20, great lenses. The camera bodies are phenomenal, beautiful to look at, to hold, the buttons, everything is great. They're not plasticky feeling like some of those in China fabricated Sony cameras. But Fuji has gotten bigger. People complained about the short battery life, so they made the batteries bigger. People complained that the lenses weren't fast focusing, so they made the lenses bigger. And over the years, I realized how Fuji started to creep up in size. Capabilities too, but size too. And here we are again at me and my initial problem. I wanted a small camera, a light camera, something that wouldn't weigh me down when I was going, traveling, hiking, whatever I was doing. I wanted a camera that fits in my purse. I don't want a camera bag. I want a purse, and I want that camera to fit in that purse. And when I say purse, I'm not even talking about a female purse here. I'm talking about a Bellroy sling bag, a 9-liter. It's actually a man's purse, a merce. But I love this thing, and you can put a camera in there. It has padding on the bottom. So that's my purse. And I wanted a camera that fits in that. And not just fit in it, but also doesn't like wreck my shoulder when I carry it. The Fuji started not to fit the bill anymore, because if I want capable autofocus, I need to stack up the size. The other problem I had with the Fuji cameras that they got more popular and their prices got more and more and more expensive. There's a Fuji tax on everything. That's my opinion. They have worked hard, and they deserve all the praise that they're getting. And I will always have Fuji in my heart. But for what I need right now, the Fuji doesn't fit the bill anymore. I want a camera that does it all in a small form factor with very fast lenses. I'm talking f1.4 here, that don't break the bank and they don't break the back. And so the logical evolution in my progress as a photographer, videographer, YouTuber is to switch to Sony. So let's talk about the A6700 for a minute here. I pre-ordered it this morning from a local camera store. My usual camera store didn't even know what the 6700 was. They had no idea it was even launched. I watched the preview of the camera, the launch video from Sony yesterday at 7 o'clock in the morning. As soon as I got up, I turned over my bedside table, opened up my iPad and watched the video. And like 5 seconds in, the photographer in the video flips open the camera and I'm like, yes, it's mine. And the video itself wasn't really like that amazing, but it just lined out some of the things that I am super excited about. The first one, obviously, the flippy outy screen. It has a viewfinder, which sucks. It only has like 2.3 million pixels. It has a nice magnification, so you should be able to see well in there, but it's not as good as some of the other cameras that obviously are pricier. What I'm really excited about is that it's 120, 4K 120p, so slow motion video in 4K. I don't have to upscale my slow motion video to 4K in separate software. The other thing is amazing, the switching between setting. When I'm filming videos, I want that white balance and I want this aperture, f-stops, whatever. And then when I switch to photos, now I want everything automatic, because when I take photos of my family, all I want is a sharp picture that's not overexposed. But now I want to take macro shots or landscape shots, fast settings, every time you switch that lever from photo to slow motion to video, you then have 3 settings that you can program the way you want it. Great. Other cameras have done it for ages, but my cameras haven't had that. Well, they have had that, but you got to go in a menu, and I'm not. The next thing I'm really excited about is this follow feature. I bought a phone gimbal a month ago because it does that. You put the phone on the gimbal and then you select yourself in the screen. You set that somewhere, and now the gimbal and the phone is following you around. I haven't used it yet. Well, I have. I'll show you something. But see, I hit the heel again. Yeah, that's what I was doing.
How do you feel about that shot, sir?
Terrific.
I tried using it while we were out mini golfing with my family, and it was terrible because they kept on saying, "Can you just stop messing with this? Take the shot. There are 4 people waiting behind us." It's all not that easy when you have people yelling at you, so you can't really take the shot that you want. The next thing, A6700 has a digital zoom. It's called the clear image zoom. And that zoom, it basically artificially adds more pixels to your sensor so you can zoom in although you don't have a zoom lens. So I'm going to show you for a second here. This is the clear image zoom. So I'm going to zoom you in right now. This is not a zoom lens. So I'm going to zoom you out again. Again, this is a prime lens. There's no zoom on this. So that's pretty cool. And so not a lot of loss of quality at all. With this zoom feature and the artificial intelligence in the camera's computer, it can now create a box that you can frame yourself with. And then if you move around, it zooms in and now it moves around with you. Apple does something similar. It's called center stage. So you have a wide angle lens, and then the camera crops in and it looks like the camera is moving with you. Same thing. Having that on this camera, fantastic. I have a husband who says, "No, I'm not filming you, so I have to do everything myself." This will now, when I teach myself how to use it properly, this will now mean I have more interesting videos for you or for myself. 4K. The autofocus, I have a box around my eye that you can't see, but if I move, the camera stays in focus. That wasn't working when you zoom in with this clear image zoom. But on that A6700, that will work. Auto focus, face focus, animal focus, it will work. Fantastic value added to your lenses. The new menu system. The A6700 will have a touch screen that you can use to set your menus. You can use it while you're filming yourself. It's flipped open, so you can even start recording or whatever not. I haven't really delved much into that. Same that the XS20 from Fuji would let you do. So that's going to make filming a lot easier as well. The new color signs. Everybody's raving about the Sony new color signs, and I'm looking forward to that. S-Cinetone. Apparently, the colors are not just better, but now I'm getting S-Cinetone. And when I'm looking at what I see on YouTube filmed in S-Cinetone, fantastic. That's all I need. Because on the Fuji X100V, all I ever used was one of those film simulation things, negative high or something. That's what I was using all the time. I don't need to change my look every time. This is all for my own personal enjoyment. As long as the colors look pleasing to me, that's all I need. In-body stabilization. The XS20 from Fuji has 7 stops. The new 6700 only has 5 stops. The ZV-10 has no stops. So 5 stops is better than no stops, and I take the 5. That will help greatly when you walk around. Let's face it. How many videos did I make with me walking around holding the camera in front of me? I'm waiting. Count them. 0. I have 0 videos of me walking around the streets holding the camera and talking to you guys. That's right, I've never done it. So why do I care so much about image stabilization when I'm talking and walking? Well, it's great to have because you take a video of anything while you're moving and you don't have any kind of stabilization. It's shaking. X100V, I'm looking at you. They have an active stabilization that crops in, and then you have that gyro data that will allow you in post-processing for free to stabilize your footage so it looks really good. So you don't need a gimbal, because I've had a gimbal for a year and I used it 0 times. So the pattern emerges, right? Like, why did I not get the Fuji XS20? I really wanted that camera. I mean, it would have been the next step up. I wanted a hybrid shooter. I looked into it. I made some calculations. I'm talking Canadian prices here, okay? $17.50 plus tax for the body. You need a really fast lens to get nice creamy background. And I need a wide angle because in this tiny little studio of mine, there's no room to put the camera 20 feet back. In order to get a very wide aperture with an f1.4, the lens that I was looking at was almost $1,300. Sony has an aps-c lens that is f1.4 and it's a 15 millimeter and it comes out at $850. So the A6700 is $100 more than the XS20, but the lens that I want for it is $300 cheaper. And the A6700 with that 15 millimeter lens is almost half a pound lighter than the XS20 with the 18 millimeter lens. The screen on these A6700 has less dots. It's much better on the Fuji. The viewfinder is also better on the Fuji. The magnification, however, on the Sony is greater, so you see more when you look into it. I do like that the viewfinder on the Sony is offset, like on this X100V. It's offset to the side, so it doesn't smush my nose. Why do they have to put the viewfinder in the middle? It doesn't make any sense. Benefit: I can use that microphone with the Sony without cables, which I really, really love. Now, there are some people that have said that the 6700 is overheating after 40 minutes or so, even when you set the internal heat sensitivity to high. A lot of YouTubers said that they ran it until the battery depleted and they didn't get overheating. So I'm not sure. This is something that we'll have to see. The XS20 offers you an external fan that you can mount on the camera. More weight, more money. I'm talking about the Fuji tax here. Basically, the reason I ordered this 6700 is because the reviews, even the ones that were a little bit negative, could not convince me that I wouldn't enjoy this camera. Long exposure photography. That's one of the things I do a lot and I really enjoy. Hello, 15 millimeter lens f1.4. Oh, I can't wait to use that. So imagine that I'm on the beach, the sun's going down, and I want to take pictures with my filters, long exposure, creamy waves. And I used to have to use a remote. I now have 2 options. I can either use the remote that I got with my grip here. I'll make another video about that. Or, no cable. Or the camera takes the picture and the shutter stays open for as long as you want it to stay open. You can pre-program that in. No more remote needed. How cool is that? So it is indeed a hybrid camera. A camera that will allow me to have one camera in my bag with one lens that does it all. Will I be able to take a picture of a bald eagle on a tree 17 kilometers away? No. 50 meters away? No. I can, but it's going to be this tiny. Do I care? No. My use of cameras in the past, especially in the last 3 years when I only had an X100V, was wide angle. With this zoom, I can now go a little further. And I have another lens that I can put in my bag if I really need to go to 50 millimeter, which then, with the clear image zoom, will go even further to 60, 65. I don't know. I can't wait to get my hands on it. I will test it, and in German fashion, I will bitch about it if there's something to bitch about it. But if there's nothing to bitch about it, I will rave about it because I'm passionate about these things. You can tell because this is what, the 17th video in the last 24 hours? So yeah, that's the update that I wanted to share with you today. I pre-ordered the Sony A6700 unseen. Crazy. Thanks for watching. I hope you will join me again in my next video. Bye.